Let's assume that you are tracking your items by batch. In other ERP systems, it may be referred as tracking by lot numbers. This is how a report will look like. First summary page will have two reports. First one will be table with item ID, inventory batch ID, which is typically lot, and then lot quantity. And then from the right side we will see the quantities in lots by items. Basically a summary of all the lots together. We have to say that we are counting only where the item is lot tracked, plus we are not counting here something that is outside of sales, purchasing, and inventory modules. For example, we are not showing you bill of materials. That's why some of these lines will be empty with drill through. Then drill through goes to detail. Let me show you how you do this. Like if you click on one, for example, inventory item, you will go to details by this item, and you will see this details are coming from lot detail query, and lot detail query has drill through filter, and this drill through filter is by item ID, right? And I'm going to show you the relationship between the queries here. So we do the relationship from summary, from lot detail to summary, lot summary, many to one, and we do it through artificial field that we created, artificial column, and this is combination of item, lot, and dimension, like you see here. Item, lot, and dimension. Let's talk now about data sets. Let's begin with lot summary. Lot summary is where we have it on summary page, and this is simple now, just two tables, edit query. Then let's click on source, and here's our query. So let me show you the connection string plus query. Connection is by database credentials. Let me show you the query. Okay, this is summary query, very simple. So we are basically taking from inventory sum table, and we are joining this with dimension, inventory dimension table by dimension ID. We are taking where item is tracked by inventory batch ID, usually lot number. Now the second one is let's open second one. Lot details, edit query. Let's click on the data source of the query. Here is the data source. Connection is the same, but this one is more complex. So let me show you this. This is lot query details. Let me show you this several unions. So we are coming module by module. First we begin with sales module, and we are taking the information from sales line. Join is with inventory dimension table by dimension ID. Then we go to sales table for the information about the customer, and then we go to customer table, and then we pick up the customer address. So this is the construction to pick the address, and then we join this one with the precise select statement from primary location. And the reason we do this, because we would like to get value to maximize, because you may have two addresses for the same customer, and in this case one of them will be old one, the second one will be new one. So we don't care about old addresses, we just take a new one. And the same we unionize for purchasing. As you see, the purchasing is symmetric to sales. So where we are dealing with purchase line, then purchase table for taking vendor information, and then we are taking vendor address from this construction. Alright? And we are checking, by the way, on inventory batch ID not to be empty, like here, you see here. And then we take it from inventory table. We simplify, we don't care about currency, code, and stuff like that. If you do care, you can take it from the company related tables. Alright? Then go back here. Here I have to do one additional step. If you click on the created date, so we have to change this date time to first date, and then for simplicity I do change it to text. Add new step. Then I close and apply, and we're good to go with report. So the only thing I would like to show you is drill through functionality, and drill through you do by item ID here. You can do by lot number as well if you like. You can create separate visualization for lot numbers on separate page if you like, but in my case I just did by item ID by selecting it into drill through filters. Also, I'd like to show you the full query for the connection of inventory sum table all the way through inventory trans table and inventory trans origin table to the modules. So this query has, in my opinion, according to what I know from AX versions, this is change from whatever you had in AX4 or 5 or 6. Excuse me, AX4 or 5. In 2012 it's changed to inventory transaction origin, so take a look at this construction. So you will need this. Again, if you would like to be in details through each lot, so that's your query. Let me slowly scroll down. In this video we assume that lot numbers are associated basically with batch ID in AX. You can apply the same query if you are tracking by serial numbers, or if you are not really tracking by any numbers, but if you like to drill through from like a summary table inventory sum. The challenging piece here was in detail query, where you have to understand how you link inventory trans origin tables. And these tables are divided or categorized by the module. For example, sales, inventory trans origin, sales line, purchase line, as well as inventory journal lines, etc. If you need help, my information is below in the description to this video, and thank you for watching.